He's the governor's daughter. He's a delivery boy under a bridge in the ghetto. He was a good skater and never received a bad review from a customer. But one day, the governor's carriage came through and blocked the delivery route. Seeing that his order was about to pass, Jamie tried to sneak across the road, but he hadn't gone more than a few steps before the guard spotted him.
Adieu.
No surprises there.
Jamie's order was not delivered on time.
He was complained about and fired.
Jamie tried to get his wages back, but the boss threw him out of the house. Meanwhile, in the opulent governor's mansion, May was learning aristocratic etiquette from her teacher, although she was born into such a prestigious family. In this feudal era, her stubborn father had always believed that a woman's lack of talent was a virtue. Even a few days ago, he had agreed to marry his daughter to Carl, the head of the guard, but May didn't like the man in front of her. Since she was a child, she had longed for freedom, loved to study science and read all kinds of books, but whenever she mentions this, her father gets furious. On the other hand, Jamie was unemployed and met a man named John while skating. John sees how well he skates and invites him to join his team. It turns out that they are a group of ice thieves who steal for a living, but they never steal from ordinary people, only the rich and powerful. Jamie has lost his job as a nobleman and has a sick father at home. The father is seriously ill and needs medical attention. Jamie agrees to join the team of thieves who rob from the rich and give to the poor. Without realizing it, they arrive in front of the governor's mansion. In order to test Jamie's ability, they encourage Jamie to paint on the stone statue inside the room. May's maid is testing love in an ancient way. She says that all you have to do is look into the mirror and say, "I love you, husband," and your future husband will appear in the mirror. But she believes in science. After the maid left, driven by curiosity, she wanted to try to see her dream man. But just then, a man really appeared in the mirror. He was a rich girl and he was an ice thief. To people who don't know each other meet by mistake like this, and Xiao Mei didn't call the police. On the contrary, there was a hint of sweet anticipation for this man who appeared in her mirror.
On the other hand, Jamie joined the ice thieves and quickly mastered the basics of pickpocketing. In the big square, they worked together like a team. Each strike worked together seamlessly. The pickpockets performed their most handsome side in this frowsy river. In the evening, the guys pack up the day's spoils. They discover that Jamie has brought two invitations to a skating party, and the boss thinks it's the perfect time for them to make a name for themselves. So they bought some flashy clothes and used the invitations to blend into the party. And sure enough, all the places that needed invitations were packed with dignitaries. They were quick on their feet, and while others were watching the show, they stole a piece of property and reaped the rewards. What Jamie didn't know was that the woman he loved was here too. That's when their thievery was quickly discovered. Carl, as head of the guard, has to go ahead and investigate, leaving behind the inept skater, Jamie, who almost falls over. Luckily, Jamie helped her, and the two recognized each other instantly. At that moment, someone in the crowd shouted that something was missing. Jamie's action makes Xiao Mei guess that he is the thief, but she didn't say anything. Instead, she and Jamie agreed to accompany her to a place tomorrow. The next day, Jamie waited for her at the agreed place. It turned out that she wanted to enroll in a women's college, but in those days, a woman had to get her father's or husband's permission to enroll. At the time, she needed her husband's signature to enroll. She didn't realize that Jamie was illiterate. In the end, Jamie was not enrolled in school because he could not sign. Before saying goodbye, she was so angry that she took off her earrings. As a reward for delaying him, she mocks her for being a thief. Jamie looked at the earrings in his hand and thought that May had misunderstood her, so he runs after them, claiming he's not ashamed of them. Instead, she says that they, the powerful ones, are the real thieves. Who built your palace? My grandfather. Yes. How many serfs did he have? 1,000, 2,000.
May was speechless for a moment, and finally Jamie gave the earrings back to her.
I don't even know your name. Alisa Marie Augusta von Schleidenberg-Wissomskaya.
What's your name?
Matvey. Not as long as yours.
Watching her leave, Jamie asked her out, although she had some feelings for him, but she refused to go out with Jamie because of her strict upbringing. But she didn't expect Jamie to sneak into the castle at night. Although Jamie's arrival angers her, she is also pleasantly surprised. I can't leave the house, especially at night, so Jamie forces her to come out and teaches her unskewed ice skating skills. It was a beautiful and romantic Christmas night. The two had a great time tonight. Not only did they watch various performances, but they also danced folk dances together.
I wish this night would never end. I have to tell you something. They're marrying me off. Do you really want to marry someone you don't love?
This moment is too short. Jamie didn't realize that an arrest was about to take place. She was the most beautiful girl in the world, but she fell in love with a thief who couldn't even write.
The next day, her father gave her an ultimatum. He would marry her off to Carl in 3 days and burn her favorite book. Her father also put her in the brig. Fortunately, with the help of her aunt, she escaped. She found Jamie first in the ruins of the shipwreck, but May didn't realize that Jamie's father had just died.
Just then, their ship is surrounded by soldiers brought by Carl. It turns out that their accomplices were taken by force.
Ваше время вышло, господа.
The people inside refused to come out and Carl burned the boat. Seeing that the fire was getting worse, John took Xiaomei hostage. He threatened Carl to let him leave safely. After seeing a few of his men leave, John didn't give Xiaomei a hard time. Grabbed the rope, but just as Xiaomei slowly lands, the rope is set on fire. At the critical moment, Jamie grabbed the broken rope. Seeing his beloved woman saved, Jamie is immediately attacked. Those who escaped earlier were shot by Carl. At this point, only Jamie and John were left on the boat. Finally, they agreed to jump into the sea together. However, when Jamie jumped off the boat, John did not follow him. Instead, he fired a shot into the sky, successfully distracting the guards and covering Jamie's escape. When Jamie returns home, her father throws her an engagement party the next day, but her heart had long since sunk into the sea with Jamie. Just as she was about to end her life, Jamie suddenly appeared. It turned out that he was not dead. He was rescued by a nearby villager who saved his life. Finally, the two of them took advantage of the cover of the night and put on their pre-prepared skates. They rushed to the station amidst fireworks. Meanwhile, Carl realizes that May is missing. He also finds a train ticket to Paris on the ground. When they arrive at the train station, they realize they have lost a ticket. When Carl arrives, Jamie tells May to get on the train first. He instructs the conductor not to let her off the train if he does not return. That's when Carl recognizes Jamie as well. At that moment, the lovers were very jealous of each other, perhaps out of the power of love. Jamie quickly beat Carl. He got his ticket back and jumped on the train at the last minute, and Carl took out his pistol and pulled the trigger without hesitation.
Luckily, Jamie wasn't shot, but the bullet hit his heirloom skates. Years have passed and Jamie is now a chemistry tutor. Her father has taken her back in. Now, Jamie has grown a beard and has a cute little son. The three of them live happily ever after together.
This is the end of the movie. I have to say, this Russian movie really hits the spot. In addition to the handsome men and women, the movie also has a very rich color palette, especially on the eyes. The way the thefts are done in one go, and in the chase fight, those handsome action special effects make for a great watch. All in all, even with the best commentary, it's not as good as the original movie. I highly recommend watching the full version. Well, that's it for this installment of the movie. Like and follow if you like it. I'm Scissor Movie. See you in the next installment.